Hi everybody, hope you're safe and well. Today I'm going to be talking about a commonplace book. If I can get through this video shoot without somebody coming and standing behind me or somebody walking in front of the camera. I know it's an open space, it's a free-for-all of course, but come on people, I'm recording a video here. Anyway, so what is a commonplace book? Well, to be honest, I've been keeping a commonplace book well before I knew what it was. Essentially, it's a repository of quotes and ideas and things you got to do, or future business ventures or things that inspire you. So I first read about commonplace from the author Stephen Johnson, who asserted that scientists and people of stature would keep these commonplace books, where they would essentially keep clippings and quotes and sentences from books or things that intrigued them. And I realized that I've been doing exactly the same thing. Now, of course, in the old days they would have used notebooks and pens, and that would be the commonplace book. But in today's digital age, I use something called Evernote, which you've probably already heard of. You've probably heard me talking about it. So what do I keep in a commonplace book? Well, the most obvious thing is, of course, Kindle clippings. So reading a book on the Kindle, there's a sentence I like, a passage that inspires, or a quote that I want to use. So I clip it and put it into Evernote. Now within Evernote, I should just add that I just have a single folder, and of course that folder is now called Commonplace. And in there is everything. So I'll talk about tagging in a minute. But essentially, what else goes into that? So maybe there's a cool sign or an interesting photo or an interesting logo that inspires me, that maybe I want to try and emulate. Maybe I want to derive some inspiration from it. Well, I'll clip it. It goes in there. Now, of course, Evernote's one of those great tools that you can clip anything, anywhere. But of course, I sometimes write stuff down as well. But it all ends up in Evernote. So what else do I put in there? I put in there sort of business ideas, blog posts, things that are inspiring to me, things that are motivating, articles that I want to go back to, things that I want to reread, things that I'll need in the future for reference. And that's the key thing with the commonplace book, is it is a reference source. It's a single repository of things that are interesting or inspiring to you. So what else goes in there? I'll probably also snap photos of things that are boring, like household bills, or the times when I've rung up the energy company and tried to switch or tried to do something and they failed miserably. I'll keep a catalogue of all that boring stuff. I'll keep in there all the details about the cars and the holidays and various things. It's not a journal. I've done a video on journaling before. It's different to that. This is a repository, a storage place for things that are interesting, things that I might need in the future. Now, of course, with the emergence of tools like Evernote, and there are plenty of other tools out there, it's tempting to capture everything, to just almost grab everything off the internet that's of interest and put it in there. But that's not the point, because it just becomes full of dross, of noise, and Evernote will slow down. It'll become harder to find things. So for me, it's only those things that are inspiring, those things that I want to use again, those things that are interesting, and I'll store them in the commonplace. So when I process the notes, I'll then go through the note and I'll clean up the title and make it searchable. I'll add tags to make it really easy to find things. So let's say, for example, I've read an interesting article on non-verbal communication. Then I'm going to tag that with communication, non-verbal communication, body language, facial expressions, whatever makes sense. Once I've done that, once I've read the information, then I will put it into the commonplace folder. Now, I've already done a video on a personal knowledge management system, which is a little bit different to this also, because with a PKMS, I'm looking to crunch that data and then contribute it back. That's about learning. This is about storage of things that could be interesting in the future. So it all ends up in the commonplace folder within Evernote, which is great. Evernote's on my phone. It's everywhere that I am. I can easily find stuff, because that's the key to a good commonplace book, is being able to retrieve things and find things. Now, back in the day, of course, they had notebooks, and there's a bit of serendipity that comes with that, flicking through, finding things of inspiration. Nowadays, though, I can get to things really quickly. So the commonplace book for me has been a wonderful asset, and I was using this sort of stuff before I knew it was called a commonplace book. You can call it what you want. It's just a repository, a storage place, somewhere to store information that's of use. Now, of course, this is a management blog, so how can we actually relate this to management? Well, of course, you could do the same thing within your trusted, data secure, HR approved system, of course. We don't want personal data, we don't want work data stored within a personal system. So use it for the same thing. Archive things that are interesting, observations, process, people you've got to speak to, things that didn't go so well, things that did go well. Just store it there and you'll never know when you're going to need that stuff again. So there you go. Hope that's an idea that's worth playing with. This is a Commonplace folder or a Commonplace book or a Commonplace whatever you want to call it. It's a repository, a place to store things that are inspiring, motivating, interesting, things you're going to use again in the future, or even just a record of your life. So that's how I use it, and that's why I use Evernote, because it's super searchable, super easy. It's got a minimalist structure to this, and I can access that stuff wherever I am in the world. So are you going to create a Commonplace book? Is this something that you're going to do? Let me know in the comments. Let me know over on LinkedIn. Let me know how you store your stuff. Do you have a similar kind of system? And if so, how does it work? I'm really interested in this sort of stuff. Anyway, hope that's been useful. Hope it's been helpful. I hope the audio's been okay. I'm actually completely deaf in one ear at the moment, so I have no idea whether or not I've been speaking at the correct volume or whatever. We'll find out when I get to the editing suite. And if I haven't, then you will not see this video because I'll reshoot it. So anyway, I am solo waffling as usual at the end of these videos. Anyway, take care, hope you're all safe and well, and I very much look forward to seeing you in the next video.